Let's start with Benjamin Franklin. He would be called a boomer in today's generational labels. He was born with Pluto and Leo, making him the oldest of the founding fathers. He's the one who pulled off all the business deals required to get funding for the American Revolution and how to persuade the colonies to participate in making a huge break from the status quo. And as a mentor, his role was to bring the talents out in everybody who was involved. He could use his experience to get the ball rolling, but the real hard work had to come from the younger generations. They were the ones that had to live with the consequences. So this list kind of describes the Pluto and Leo generation. Of course, it is rare a person who actually lives to the potential of their best self. Some do just the opposite. But the rest of the Founding Fathers team can demonstrate the top qualities of each generation back then and also today. So, what was Benjamin Franklin known for? He was the oldest of the crowd, and his specialty was in persuading others to think differently. He was self-assured and had a dramatic flair that made him a hit at gatherings. He knew how to use clothes to make a dramatic statement. If you look at it in current times, rock stars with their garish outfits and over-the-top personas originated from the current Pluto and Leo generation. Even as kids, these Pluto and Leos had to dress up for school each day and wear suits or white gloves and hats to church on Sundays. When Ben Franklin traveled to France, he dressed for maximum impact. He wore rustic clothes with his signature fur hat to emphasize the point that normal people can make a difference. His fur hats became a fashion fad in France. The boomers are Pluto and Leo generation 2, the first ones since Franklin's time. I'm consistently blown away by how these little details repeat themselves during these cycles. Franklin's sartorial choices weren't just eccentric. They were actually really strategic. By dressing plainly, he contrasted sharply with the powdered wigs and the ornate fashion of the French aristocracy, making himself a living emblem of the American cause. Ben was curious, and he liked to show off what he had discovered. He knew how to put on a show to garner attention, and then he would hit the party with his out there ideas of, hey, let's overthrow the king. Will you help us? Ben was fascinated with science, trying to learn about electricity. Now, think of like a boomer like Steve Jobs. He charmed the crowds with flashy demos to sell his dream. The same approach. Ben Franklin exemplified the best of Pluto and Leo. He used his uniqueness, his charisma, to support his higher purpose. He was a master of negotiation, balancing idealism with realism. He believed in hard work, thrift, and usefulness. He was a master at getting individuals to think differently about what was possible. These are the core values of many of our current Pluto and Leos, the baby boomers. Okay, so if Franklin was a boomer, what generation would George Washington be?